Late on Monday, we received a bombshell announcement from Jeff Bezos's aerospace company Blue Origin. The company, which is at the forefront of private space travel, has officially announced that it will now accept Bitcoin along with Ethereum and Solana as payment for its space flights. Now, on the surface, this might sound like a simple marketing gimmick, a way to appeal to the tech-savvy, affluent crypto crowd. But I'm here to tell you that the implications are far, far more significant than that. This is not just about a few wealthy individuals paying for a trip to space with their digital wallets. This is a profound shift that speaks to the accelerating institutional adoption of crypto, and it has direct, tangible consequences for the US and global markets. Let's break this down. First, let's talk about the symbolism and the validation this provides. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, one of the most powerful companies on the planet, is not just a figurehead, he is a titan of the industry. His ventures, particularly Blue Origin, are viewed as bellwethers of the technological and economic trends. When a company with that kind of gravitas and backing makes a move like this, it isn't just a nod to crypto, it's an endorsement. It signals to a broad audience of traditional investors, corporate treasurers, and institutional finance players that cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, are maturing into a legitimate asset class and a viable form of payment. This is a critical distinction. For years, the narrative around crypto has been one of a speculative gamble, a volatile digital curiosity for retail investors. But with this move, Blue Origin is treating Bitcoin as a transactional currency with real-world utility, even for a product as high value and exclusive as a seat on a rocket. The cost of a Blue Origin flight is not public, but we know from the public auction of a seat to crypto billionaire Justin Sun that prices can be in the tens of millions of dollars. Accepting Bitcoin for transactions of this magnitude is a powerful statement about its stability and liquidity. This action on its own adds a layer of confidence and trust that no number of celebrity endorsements or marketing campaigns could ever achieve. So how does this affect the US and global markets? Let's start with the immediate impact. When news of this nature breaks, we see a chain reaction. The headline itself creates a demand shock. Institutional and retail investors who may have been on the sidelines waiting for a sign now have one. This can lead to a surge in buying pressure for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, driving up their prices. While the crypto market is known for its volatility, a sustained influx of institutional capital tends to stabilize it in the long run. The more corporations that begin to treat Bitcoin as a treasury asset or as a payment mechanism, the more liquid and less volatile it becomes. This is a virtuous cycle. Increased adoption leads to increased stability, which in turn encourages even greater adoption. Next, let's consider the indirect effects on the traditional finance. The move by Blue Origin puts immense pressure on other corporations, especially in the US tech and finance sectors, to reevaluate their own crypto strategies. Companies like Apple, Google, and even financial giants like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, who have been exploring and in some cases cautiously engaging with the crypto space, will now face heightened pressure to act. Their boards and shareholders will be asking, if a company founded by Jeff Bezos sees value in this, what are we missing? What is our strategy for a world where digital assets are becoming a standard part of commerce? This is an existential question for many of these companies. The fear of being left behind or losing a competitive edge is a powerful motivator. We could very well see a domino effect where other major US corporations announce similar initiatives, whether it's accepting crypto for their products, adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, or developing new blockchain-based services. The implications for the stock market, particularly the US stock market, are equally significant. We have seen in the past that major corporate moves into the crypto space can lead to a halo effect. When a company like Blue Origin owner makes a crypto-friendly move, it boosts investor confidence not only in crypto, but also in the company seen as being at the forefront of this digital transformation. This can lead to a rise in the stock prices of companies with direct or indirect exposure to crypto, such as crypto exchanges like Coinbase or software companies that provide blockchain-related services. We might also see a rise in the stocks of companies that are perceived as potential next adopters of this technology. It's a bullish signal for the entire tech and innovation sector, but it's not just about a one-way street of corporate adoption. This also highlights a major shift in how we view corporate treasury management. Historically, corporate treasuries were focused on cash management, short-term investments, and risk mitigation using traditional financial instruments. Now, with inflation and macroeconomic instability being persistent concerns, companies are looking for new ways to protect and grow their capital. Bitcoin, with its decentralized nature and fixed supply of 21 million coins, is increasingly being viewed as a potential hedge against inflation and a non-sovereign store of value. This is a parallel narrative to the one we've heard about gold for centuries. The Blue Origin news is a powerful demonstration that this narrative is moving from the fringes into the mainstream of corporate finance. There's also a fascinating geopolitical element to this. The US has been in a quiet but fierce competition with other nations to be the leader in the Web3 and blockchain space. A major US-based company like Blue Origin embracing Bitcoin so publicly is a strong statement that the US is a hub for crypto innovation. It's a signal to global players that this is a space where American companies are not just participating, but leading. This could attract more talent, investment, and companies to the US, further solidifying its position as the global financial and technological leader. Now let's take a moment to consider the technical and operational side of this. Blue Origin isn't just saying they'll take Bitcoin, they're implementing a sophisticated payment system to do so. They're leveraging a third-party payments provider, Mpho, to handle the transactions. This is a critical detail. It means they aren't having to directly manage the volatility or the regulatory complexities of holding crypto on their balance sheet if they choose not to. They can instantly convert the crypto to fiat currency like US dollars, which is a key way to mitigate a risk. This model, which bridges the crypto world with traditional finance, provides a playbook for other major corporations to follow. It shows that they can embrace the benefits of crypto payments without taking on the full speculative risk of being a crypto investor. This lowers the barrier to entry for many other large-scale businesses. We are currently in an era of persistent inflation and economic uncertainty. Central banks around the world, including the US Federal Reserve, are wrestling with these challenges. In this environment, corporations are looking for ways to protect their capital from devaluation. For decades, the standard play was to hold US dollars and invest in short-term government bonds. But with inflation eroding, purchasing power, and global economic stability being tested, this strategy is becoming less effective. This is where Bitcoin comes in. With its fixed supply of 21 million coins, Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold, a hedge against inflation. When a company like Blue Origin, which is part of an empire built by one of the most successful business leaders of our time, publicly embraces Bitcoin, it legitimizes this narrative. It suggests that this isn't just a fringe theory for crypto enthusiasts, but a serious consideration for corporate treasury management. This could encourage a new wave of corporations to follow suit, not just for payments, but for their balance sheets. A domino effect of corporations adding a small percentage of Bitcoin to their treasuries would create a massive demand shock in the crypto market. This sustained institutional demand could act as a stabilizing force, making the asset less volatile and even more attractive as a long-term investment. The global players from China to the EU are watching. China has largely taken a prohibitive stance on crypto, while the EU has been working on a more comprehensive regulatory framework. A strong show of institutional support from a US company like Blue Origin could accelerate the global race to establish clear, supportive regulations for digital assets. The nations that get this right will be at the massive advantage in the coming decades, and this move puts the US firmly in the spotlight. When a company with a global reputation for innovation makes a move like this, it can signal to investors that the company is forward-looking and preparing for the future. Blue Origin is not just a space company, it's part of the BEZOS'S ecosystem, which includes Amazon and a host of other ventures. This connection makes the endorsement even more powerful. Think about the investor psyche. Investors are constantly trying to predict the future. A move like this from Blue Origin Origin is a strong indicator of where a significant portion of the global economy might be headed. We've seen this before. When major tech companies embraced cloud computing, the stocks of cloud-related companies soared. When they invested in AI-focused stocks went through the roof. We could be seeing the early stages of a similar trend for crypto and blockchain. This could lead to a re-rating of publicly traded companies that have any connection to the crypto space. We could see increased investment in crypto exchanges, blockchain infrastructure providers, and even companies that simply hold crypto on their balance sheets. This isn't just speculation, it's a fundamental shift in how investors value a company's readiness for the future. The partnership with Mpho is also a bullish sign for companies in the payments sector. Mpho is a publicly traded company on the NYSE, and their stock could see a boost from the high-profile partnership. This creates a positive feedback loop. As more companies adopt this model, the companies providing the tools to do so become more valuable, further validating the entire ecosystem. So while the headline is about a rocket company accepting Bitcoin for space flights, the real story is about a profound, multifaceted shift in corporate strategy, risk management, and the very future of finance. It's an announcement that will be studied for years to come, and it's a clear signal that crypto is no longer just an alternative asset. It's becoming an integral part of the global economy.